What's going on, man? Christie Sides, she had a post-game interview where she talks about the loss last night with against the Washington Mystics. Just to be frank with you, man, she really threw the game. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but she threw the game because she understood that either way, it's not going to profit them, maybe a little bit when you're talking about momentum, being focused, being ready mentally and physically for Sunday. But when the team came out flat, and when the team comes out flat, Kelsey Mitchell almost got hurt. And so when you thinking about all those things, I believe she threw in the towel. So Kelsey Mitchell got hurt, I believe, in the first quarter, and she didn't play the rest of the game. And then Caitlin Clark, she played a little bit. She played the first and second quarter, played a little bit of the third quarter, but then I think when the game started getting away from them, just mentally, I think Christie Sides said, "Let me just get my team prepared, get some rest, and just have an off game for the night. Whatever happens, we play the bench." And if we end up winning this game tonight, we end up winning. If we don't, we're not going to lose any sleep. And hear what she had to say on last night.
I just want to start out with how is Kelsey? Was it kind of just precautionary that you kept her out the rest of the game?
Yeah, Kelsey's good. Just when she went down, I stroked out a little bit, and so just made the decision right then. She's going to get ready for Sunday.
I wanted to ask about the defense as well. Obviously, second and third, you gave up 30
And they play against
points.
Connecticut Sun on Sunday.
I know defense has been a big thing for you. Just how do you think your backups, especially, just reacted, especially in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, they did a great job. I'm really proud of our great team. I mean, we compete every day. They compete in every drill against the blue team. That second, third quarter, 30 points, just way too many. We were letting their ball screens. We weren't able to keep them in front of us. They were getting beating the paint on us, kicking out. They were hitting threes early. We needed to clean that up. But again, just can't say enough about the great team out there tonight that did a great job.
Hi, Coach. The Indiana Fever team has been transformative. I know you guys still have the playoffs, but as you reflect on the season so far, just what are you most proud of, and where do you see there's still room for improvement?
Most proud of the resiliency that our players showed. You know, starting 1-8, and then to have clinched a playoff spot with 7 games remaining. If you'd have told me that was going to happen, I would have never believed you. So just really proud of their growth, their resiliency. They went to work. They got better. We didn't have the time early, but they just kept getting better as the season progressed. And then we had the All-Star break and had some great opportunity to really be able to focus on some things. But I can't talk enough about what these guys have gone through this season, and the resiliency they've shown. They deserve this opportunity to play in these playoffs, and just really proud of them for that.
So this is our first chance to kind of actually ask you about the matchup, Connecticut. You beat them a few weeks ago. You know them well. You played them the first game of the season. It's kind of a nice little bookend here. Early initial thoughts about this matchup.
These guys know how to take it to that next level. They've played for championships. They're a playoff veteran team. They know what it means when the playoffs come, that it's going to be a next level, and you've got to get to that. I remember my first pregame speech, I think it was May 21st or whatever that was, when we played them. Their toughness and their physicality is what we had to be able to handle. We didn't do it that first time. And I think we're better now with understanding what that's going to feel like. They're going to be tough. I mean, they know what it takes to play and to win in the playoffs. But we're not the team that we were early, and we've been able to just keep getting better. And we're looking forward on Sunday to giving Connecticut a good run, and it should be a really good game.
How you doing, Coach? Harping on the questions that we've asked about your team's performance the second half of the season, how does it feel to finally see this transition of rebuilding and finally, getting to the playoffs now and seeing all that hard work play off in the development of different players over the years?
Yeah, the year before last, they had won 5 games. And the year before that, they had only won 6, right? So when I took the job, I knew our goal was 13, 14, 15 wins. We thought if we could get there, that would be a great, just a baseline for where we needed to go. To get 20 wins this season, I mean, my goal was 18. That's kind of where I thought we would land. But you know what? Like, these guys bought in, worked extremely hard, picked up that 20th win, 6th seed. I mean, they were 12 for several years. And then we made it, we were that 10th seed last year. And, 1-8, man, 1-8. And then to clinch with 7 games remaining. Like, there was times I was trying to figure out how to play the rest of the season because we haven't been in that. And I had no starters who's ever played in a playoff game. Not one.
Good
Got 4 in
coaching,
the locker room
Christie.
who've had play minutes in playoffs.
Good
but
coaching.
We're
Give
trying to
yourself
figure out what
props.
they needed. We're just trying to figure out what they need. So Sunday we're ready to go.
We know that Caitlin likes to play a lot. How much did she bug you to go back in the game tonight?
It's funny. I was asked that question out in the hallway, and she knew the expectation, and I kind of let her know exactly about how many minutes she had left, just because had I not, I would have been listening to her. She'd have been ready to go back in. I mean, I love that about her, though. I mean, isn't that what you love about her? I mean, she is just a fierce competitor, and that's what makes her special.
Coach, you've talked a lot about that 1-8 start and how you've been able to turn the season around. And I know during that time frame, there's a lot of questions about the chemistry of the team. So now that you've had a chance to reflect and go through a whole season and find success with this team, how would you say the chemistry of the players have grown together, both on and off the basketball court?
Did you see the bench tonight at the end of that game with that great team in? That is that was, even though we did not come away with this win, just the excitement that group had for that great team that was out there. People wanted us to win now, right when the season started. And if you've been around the game, then this league is the best in the world, and these teams are tough and it takes time. So they needed to learn each other. And we really focused on that, especially in the All-Star break, with just even off the court. That was huge for us. And now, they built this relationship, this chemistry. I mean, you throw a group of 12 women in a room together, it's not always going to be perfect, right? It's still not perfect, but these guys they're pulling for each other. And that was just so proud. We had 2 great shots at the end win that game. And that would have been the icing on the cake, but still just the comeback that those guys had, Christy Wallace, Katie Lou, both those guys are going to get minutes, and they need to be ready for the playoffs, and we need them. And I thought tonight really helped them be ready for those minutes they're going to get.
Got a few on Zoom. Mike Vopel will start, then we'll go to Matt next.
Yeah, congratulations, Coach, on this season and what you guys are going to be doing going forward. I wanted to ask again about Kelsey. You've talked a lot about her and what this season has meant to her. Now she's really going to get her first shot at the playoffs. A great player. We're finally going to see her in the postseason. I just wonder if you could talk about what her mindset is going into this postseason.
Yeah, it's been fun to, hear that she's reached out to, some NBA players, she's not had this experience before. And so for her to be reaching out to several of her friends and other ball players that, have experienced the playoffs, to understand what it's going to be like and what she can do. And, that goes into the leadership also of what Kelsey has grown into a lot, that I'm really proud of her for with this year. She's done a lot more talking. She's done a lot more just communicating with her teammates, with her experiences, just for her to have this experience. I mean, Kelsey is a huge part of our success.
Let me just tell you this, man. Kelsey Mitchell is a big deal. When Kelsey Mitchell went down with almost could have been a season-ending injury, let me tell you something. That player from the Mystics just rolled into her legs. It was scary, man. I was pissed off because I was like, what is this player doing? Like, she was out of control. And even though it was possibly an accident, it just looked intentional. And when you have something like that, you have to pause the calls. Like, Christie Sides her mouth dropped. I could probably only tell just what she was feeling. She said, man, the playoffs is on Sunday. We play against the Connecticut Sun. We can't lose Kelsey Mitchell. That's easily 24, 25 points right there in a game. You can't lose that because who else is going to pick that up? Now, the bench did step up, and they surprised the hell out of me because they almost came back and won this game last night. But at the end of the day, you can't afford to have someone like Kelsey Mitchell get a freak injury like that and not able to be available for the playoffs. But Kelsey Mitchell is a big contributing factor to this team. Not just Caitlin Clark, but Kelsey Mitchell is a bona fide star on this team and in the WNBA.
That's huge. And she's deserved every minute of how she's been playing. She's put in the work. She's just an unbelievable professional. But for her to have this experience, and she is the one I hear all the time, we're not satisfied. We're not satisfied. And that is so, when Kelsey Mitchell's not satisfied and she gets everybody else body and like, we want to get to these playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. And as long as they have that about them and then that they're not satisfied, I think we're going to give, we'll do what we can. And I think the series with Connecticut will be a good one.
Got Matt, then we'll finish up with Tony.
Yeah, Christie. Players like Christie, Grace, Victoria, just the players that fueled the fourth quarter comeback. They haven't really played that many minutes in this back half. So for I guess the so-called gray team, what have you seen from them every day that stuck out to maybe the casual viewer wouldn't expect a fourth quarter like that, but for you, it's not surprising?
Yeah, I'd said earlier, we've got a group of players. We've got 12 players who are all real, competitors. And that is one thing that we do in our practices is we try to make just about every drill as competitive as we can. Those guys compete every day with the blue team. If we're doing a shooting drill, I mean, it gets real serious. And if you don't have the score right, it can get ugly at times. And they just, that's just what they did tonight. They went in and did exactly what they've done. They come in, they get ready. Like you said, they haven't got the minutes, but these guys don't miss a workout. If there's a low, we do low minute workouts. They play pickup with our dream team guys. They were ready for.
Let me just say this. Christie Sides is one hell of a coach. I don't care who don't like it. Let me tell you something. It is hard to be a coach of a professional team. And the turnaround from last season to this season is tremendous. That means you have to give credit to the coaching. I don't care what you say. The proof is in the pudding. You have to give credit to the coaching of Christie Sides for her to have her team mentally prepared for most of the season and to have them physically prepared for the most of the season. Let me tell you something. That's not shabby. To finish sixth in the WNBA standings and to have a record is 2020 that's a winning record. However you look at it, they broke even, but that is better than what they did last season. And let me tell you something, they could have easily been a couple of games above 500. They let a little games go that they should have won, but you can't put everything on Christie Sides. Some of that has to do with the players. Tell you something, you need the players to be just as mentally and physically prepared as the coach is the leader of the team. The coach is the leader of the team. The coach is responsible to making sure that you are prepared far as mentally for the game plan and you to go out there and execute. But the players have to go out there and execute. And if they don't execute, if you don't make shots, if you don't play defense, some of that, I'm not going to put all the blame on Christie Sides. At the end of the day, they made the playoffs. They're in the 6 spots. Shout out to you, Christie.
For this moment because of the work that our coaches have helped them put in and they're willing to go get those workouts in for these moments. And I think it really paid off for them tonight.
Tony, last one.
Yeah, Christie, Connecticut in the finals 2 years ago. They have so much playoff experience on that roster, top to bottom. How do you see that being a factor in the series, and how do you overcome that? Because you've talked about how little experience your starters have.
Yeah, we were to start the fourth. I told our team we try to get 1% better every day, and we had not done that tonight. We had not done on the defensive end what we needed to do. We were putting up the points. So if we were playing Connecticut tonight and the way they are going to play with their experience, it would not have been a good night for us. It was not, we would not have an opportunity to win that game. So, kind of talked about that, but we're a different team than we were to start this season. We have some really in-game experiences where we've come back, we've won overtime games. We're ready and prepared for Sunday. We just have to make sure we handle. I mean, those guys can play some hella defense, and we just got to be ready for they're going to make everything hard, every pass, every cut. They're not going to let us just move freely. We've just got to make sure that we respond to that physicality.
Period. And there you have it. Now, what I want to do is I want to kind of break this off and have a 2-for-1. And I'm going to go over to Stephanie White, who is the head coach of the Connecticut Sun. This is who the Indiana Fever play on Sunday, the Connecticut Sun. Now, they have to go over down to the Connecticut Sun arena, and hopefully they can get a W. And it's going to be a tall task because Connecticut Sun is a very, very physical team.
They're obviously
Very physical team. So let's hear what Stephanie White had to say as she gets prepared to prepare her team to face Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever.
obviously a really good team. And I think I remember sitting up here, after game 1 or game 3, we played them, and I'm like, they're going to be just fine, right? Like they just have to grow. They're young, and then they've got to figure it out, and they've got to learn to play together, and they have. They're playing incredibly well. Certainly when you talk about the job that Kelsey and Caitlin have done from a perimeter standpoint, I mean, they're a backcourt combo that is really tough to match up with. And then you have Aaliyah Boston on the interior, certainly what Melissa brings, and Lexi Hull from an energy standpoint and knocking down shots. They're playing really confident basketball. They're playing well together. They're a tough matchup. And, Becky Hammond had it right. Like, you can't outscore that team, right? You got to be able to lock down defensively. You've got to be able to give them different looks because they're smart players. And when they get a beat, they're going to pick you apart. So we got to be able to give them different looks. We got to be locked in, and we got to be consistent for 40 minutes. Christie's done an outstanding job with that group, and they've continued to stay the course. And it's a lot of credit to their maturation and her leadership.
What do you feel like you guys learned from that loss that you had in the second half of the season to them coming into a playoff series?
Well, I think we can't ever, I say this a lot to our players, like, you have to respect everyone and fear no one, right? Like, you have to have a respect for every team that you play. You've got to know that teams are going to grow, that players are going to get better, that teams are going to get better. And we had lapses in that game on both ends of the floor, but particularly offensively, that we didn't probably as a staff adjust quick enough to some of the things that they were doing to us. And we've got to have an intensity about us for 40 minutes. Like, this is the playoffs. Like, it is, it's in a series. You've got to be able to give different looks. You've got to be able to make quality plays. You got to be able to use your bench and get production. But at the end of the day, it's win or go home, and you don't have the margin for error that you have in the regular season. So hopefully, for us, it's learning a sense of urgency and playing our standard for 40 minutes.
Maggie?
It's a quick turnaround, only 2 days in between. It's not new at the W. You guys have always had a tight turnaround. What are the biggest challenges as a coach then to get your team to digest the regular season finale and then kind of shift gears into the playoff mentality?
Yeah, it's always the same. It's the combination of rest, especially for veteran teams, and prep. I think certainly Indiana's a different team than, but we've seen them in the second half. And for us, just making sure that we balance out those two things, and that we're able to give them, the looks that we want on both ends of the floor, that we're able to lock in, as a group, and really having those conversations like, we got to be locked in. We got to be ready to go. Like, we've got to approach our film session and our practice or walk through, whatever it ends up being. If it's not physically taxing, mentally, you got to be sharp. We don't have time to have letdowns. And so just reiterating that to them, but they're a veteran group, again, it's like they get it. They get where we are. They get what's at stake.
For both of you, Indiana coming to town on Sunday, obviously there's going to be some added attention because of Caitlin Clark. Any added pressure facing them in the first round?
I mean, I think it's pressure just in general because it's the playoffs and these games are crucial. It's a 3-game series and we need to win, honestly. But it's exciting to see that we play them and we play them our first game too. So it's going to be a full circle. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Going off of what Ty said, just kind of like that full circle moment, just looking back at the beginning of the season to now. And I think us just reflecting on our season, I think as a team, we've come so far. And I think we're just really excited to really put that together just for a playoff run.
Listen, I could go on.
And there you go. And there you go. And there you have it. At the end of the day, for me, it's all about this, right?
They're
It's
obviously a
about
really good team.
it's about being mentally prepared for Sunday. The playoffs is a different type of energy, right? And I think I've talked about this on several of my videos. Being in the playoffs, you have to be able to be mentally prepared. Is it physically taxing? Yes, because you've played a whole season. You may be hurting some, but it's more mental than physical because you have to be mentally prepared for the energy. Who's going to have the better matchups? You focus more on matchups now. It's going to be even more physical. So that's where the physicality comes in. But as you can tell from Stephanie White, she is concerned, but she's also confident in her team because she has some big bodies. She has some physical players on that team that's going to be prepared and ready on Sunday. And let me tell you, with the Indiana Fever, you better bring it. You better bring it. And that's just for the Indiana Fever. You better be able to bring it. You better be able to bring it. And let me tell you something, Caitlin Clark. They're going to be physical. They're going to be physical, Caitlin, and you're going to have to understand that going in. Don't get your emotions out of whack. Stay the course. Be mentally focused because understand they're going to bang you. They're going to push you. They're going to grab you. This is the playoffs, so there's a whole nother level. So this is going to be good experience for Caitlin Clark, but not just Caitlin Clark, but for Kelsey Mitchell, for everybody, Aaliyah Boston, everybody. Aaliyah Boston is going to come ready to play. She's a physical player herself. But for the other ones, I want you to be mentally prepared for this game on Sunday and go out here and try to get this game won. If you're able to take game one, you're going to be taking the mental stab at the Connecticut Sun, which hopefully will give you the advantage now to win that series. Y'all let me know in the comment section, who do you got? Are you going to get, do you think the Connecticut Sun is going to win, or do you think the Indiana Fever is going to win this series? Let me know who you have in game one, Connecticut Sun or the Indiana Fever. Stay tuned to the next video.